Since the start of the invasion, Russia has had its sights set on overtaking the Ukrainian capital of Kiev. So far, Ukrainian forces have repelled Russia's advances, but now Russian soldiers are surrounding the city for what's likely to be an all-out assault on the capital. Putin is gambling that his ill-prepared soldiers will somehow be able to overtake the Ukrainians by force in street-by-street combat. But he could be in for a big surprise. Just ask our own far better trained and much better equipped military how that went for them in the fall of 2004 when a U.S.-led coalition tried to retake Fallujah in Iraq. It was the bloodiest battle of the entire Iraq War. The insurgents had prepared fortified defenses throughout the city. Buildings and vehicles were booby-trapped and streets were blocked off to corner our forces. It took 46 days to kill or capture nearly 3,000 insurgents in a city about a tenth the size of Kiev, at a cost of some 110 coalition forces, leaving hundreds more wounded and thousands of innocent civilians dead. Joining me now is Sudarshan Raghavan, correspondent-at-large for The Washington Post, who is in Kiev, and retired Army Major John Spencer, chair of urban warfare studies with the Madison Policy Forum, and author of Connected Soldiers, Life, Leadership, and Social Connections in Modern War. Thank you both for being here. I want to start with you, Sudarshan. Give us a sense of what's going on in Kiev, because it does feel like the war is coming in that direction.
Definitely. People here are extremely concerned. They're preparing for the worst. You know, they're seeing what's happening in other cities around Ukraine that have been heavily bombed, and they're worried that could easily happen here in Kiev. So, yeah, I mean, the Russians right now, as you said, they are outside, but I wouldn't say they've surrounded the capital by any means. They're still north of the capital here at northwest, and they're kind of pushing in from the northeast, but the southern routes are still open. What we're seeing now is a slowdown in the Russian advance. The Russians were trying to wage a conventional war, but instead what they found was a very well sustained insurgency where the Ukrainians have been using guerrilla-style tactics to stop the Russian advance, particularly in a city that is on the northern edges of Kiev, which is what's called Irpin. And the Russians are still there now, and they're trying to push. But definitely, when you look at the might of the Russian army and the resources it has, certainly many analysts, many people believe that at some point they could very well push into the capital.
And Major Spencer, I want to bring you in here. We had you on before to talk about this, and I want you to get into a little bit more detail because, you know, in the case of Iraq, when, you know, by the time the United States tried to get into Fallujah, the people there had time to plan what they were going to do, to plan how they were going to repel. They understood what our forces were capable of. They understood what our forces were willing to do, and they had time to plan a response. In this case, we were a much better prepared army, we're a far superior army to Russia, and it was 46 days of hell. So what, in theory, would these Russian forces be looking at if they do enter the capital?
I mean, to be honest, Joy, it'll be night and day to what we experienced in Fallujah, what I experienced in Baghdad myself. They'll face a nightmare on every street. Just to be clear, the world's best military, we penetrated Fallujah on night one. We were sitting in the middle of it. Russia's going to hit a wall, a concrete wall of Ukrainians. I mean, there's thousands of them, and highly trained Ukrainian military backed by the best tank-killing machines in the world that we provided them. Russia approaches a meat grinder, and they know it, and they're scared.
And so what would be the, you know, case for doing it? Because it does seem to me that they've faced, you know, a very determined population who made it clear they don't want them there. They don't want to be occupied. They don't want them there. We faced that, obviously, in Iraq, but also Iraq had a government that people didn't even support. So they weren't fighting for that government. There's nobody that was going to fight for that government. In this case, they are going to fight for that government. They are going to fight for each other. It seems to me, I guess I keep saying this, it doesn't seem sane to try to take this city, but it seems that they are determined to do it. What will be the case for trying?
Absolutely. I think they're going to attempt it. So, Joy, they don't have to take the city. They're not trying to get all the enemy out like we did in Fallujah. The Iraqi government wanted Fallujah back. They had an election coming up. Putin doesn't want to take Kyiv like that. He just needs to get to the middle and raise the Russian flag and call a win. That's not what's going to happen. And you hit the nail on the head. What do they not have? The will to fight. What do the Ukrainians have? They have the will to pay the ultimate price for their country. Once you lose the will to fight, which we've seen the Russians do, you've lost the war. He's already lost.
The question then, Sudarshan, is how many people are going to end up in body bags before it's all over? Because every expert that we've had on, from Major Spencer on, all have made it very clear that Russia is not winning tactically this war. It is a disaster for them. But they are killing a lot of people. And it seems to me that at this point, killing a lot of people is the point. Is that what you're feeling and seeing on the ground?
Well, first of all, I really hope Kiev doesn't turn into Fallujah. I was there in Iraq at the time, and I've seen the aftermath of Fallujah, where 60% of the city was destroyed, and there were, so many civilian casualties at that time. Kiev is an extremely beautiful city. It's got an amazing opera house and an amazing central square and all these beautiful churches around the city. Definitely, look, people are preparing for this, though. On every street here, you are seeing fortification, checkpoint. The highways are sandbagged. They're covered with tires. There are trucks and metro train and subway trains blocking pathways for potential Russian entry. And at many of these places, you're seeing anti-tank guns, anti-tank rockets. And yes, I mean, they have extremely sophisticated weapons like javelin missiles and the British supplied NLAW anti-tank missiles. So yes, they're extremely prepared, and also the people, about a third of the population, I would say, have already fled the city. So right now, when you're seeing attacks, especially on civilian areas, bombardments, the casualties could be a lot higher, but the fact is, a lot of people have left, but there still remains a considerable amount of people here, and they're all living in areas that are next to fortifications, and so the entire city's under defense. So the concern here, of course, is that if the Russians do enter, you could see a bloodbath of sorts, especially amongst the civilian population.
And Major Spencer, then the question is, the fact that the government has stayed in Kiev, that they are still there, that they're still operating out of there, that the president is still showing himself even outside, saying, we're here. What does that portend for how this horrible culmination could look?
I mean, one, I agree with you that we're going to see, if Russia attempts this, very awful civilian casualties, more like than we've ever seen. And it's a war crime what he's doing. But Zelensky is the key to everything. Again, soldiers don't fight because you pay them or force them to. They fight for leadership like that, for cause. Zelensky is everything. But the Ukrainians have to be able to prepare to take the shelling that Russia do. They're cowards. They're going to try to bomb into submission. But the game here is that Ukraine is preparing for the Battle of Stalingrad, the Battle of Berlin, and Russia still thinks they're us and preparing for the attack on Baghdad in 2003. I mean, it's not just my experience, it's my research. Ukraine has figured out what will win, and they're doing it. An urban defense is always going to be stronger than attempting to attack it.
Yeah, and the whole world, minus a few strange and weird outliers, are with them, with Ukraine. Sudarshan Raghavan, Major John Spencer, thank you both very much.